the metaverse, but the real world you don't know. You know, like, so, and I started like creating music. I'm like, he has to be, I want CONGO to be like Kanye and Drake and DJ Khaled.
So everyone, really been looking forward to this next panel. I think I've been dropping hints about how I think that music is about to get disrupted. This whole world of NFTs, tokenization, and culture is coming together, and that's why we've got an incredible panel. And so I'd like to welcome the world famous, needs no introduction, producer Timbaland. And also Jonathan, Joel, and Drew. We're going to have a great conversation. Really, really excited about this. So, guys, thank you for this. This is amazing. It's just, nice. I've been talking, as I said, about the culture as the new investment, right? This whole tokenization is changing the world. It's changing music. It's going to change everything we're doing.
Yes.
How the hell did you get into this?
Because I'm still a kid at heart. So,
yeah, perfect.
You know, I just, when, you know, just playing video games, playing like Call of Duty, I always, when I buy tokens, I'm like, what if this happened in the real world? And I never knew it would happen so fast. When people was talking about NFTs, I was like, okay. I didn't know it was a token. I just kept hearing NFT. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but what if this? And they said, well, and I told somebody, I said, what if this was an NFT? Somebody said, that's what it is. You know, I was playing the Call of Duty, I was buying something, and they said, that's what it is. You know, it's non-fungible token. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, you know, it's a new space. And for me, I just watch everybody, and I'm looking at, you know, for me, this is like a dream come true. I wish this would have came 10 years ago, you know, but now that we're here, I just taken all collective concepts that I always had and making them come to life as an NFT. Because I was telling somebody, they always ask me, well, what is it? I said, well, it's digital, you know, it's digital art. It's the same way if you go look at a Basquiat, you're just looking at a Basquiat, but imagine the Basquiat can move and say, and give you different feelings instead of you creating the feeling. It's the same thing, but at least you get to see it move and hit you in a different way. You know, as I journey this whole NFT space, that's the only art that I love. I don't really like.
Really, it's taking you over now.
Yeah, I don't really like stand still art. It has to do something. It has to make me feel a certain way. It has to, I'm just intricate of how stuff breaks down. Like if this one NFT I saw with a lady face and how it exploded and how they made the skin do different, I was like, wow, that's amazing. But if I just saw that in the painting, I was like, that's boring. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really into this heavy, but I'm also a creator.
Yeah.
So, you know, as I'm an ape, I'm a bored ape. So I'm like, that's cool. I'm looking at people's wallets, like, y'all, we got these pictures, but no, my ape got to come to life. You know, stuff got to come to life. Like I really, like the ape was always my favorite animal. As just a human being, I always loved gorillas.
Right.
So when this came about, it just took my whole creative to a whole nother level. And I'm just start venturing out, and I'm looking at everybody, what everybody's doing. I'm saying, but y'all don't understand, we can be so much more. So I just want to show the world what the much more is, because I have this vision, and I think I can make it come to life in an NFT way.
So you started collecting the stuff as well because you love the art.
Yeah, I collect a couple, but I'm like, I love creating.
You want to get involved. You want to get involved.
Yeah, I want to create.
So you see this ape and you what do you suddenly think you can do with it? You want to bring it to life. What's in your head?
Okay, what's in my head, like when I just take the ape and the CryptoPunks, I see, like, I can't tell y'all the whole play, because then once you just know, get familiar with CONGO, okay? That's all. I don't want to tell, and Sad Boy, you got to get familiar with these two. I don't want to tell you, just know, me behind the creative, Joe, all of us, it's going to be a movie. So I just look at it like, how can I make this a world?
And how are you putting music to this?
You see.
That's the other thing, right?
You're going to see.
Because NFTs allow you to tokenize music, and there's a whole bunch. Look at your face. You've got plans.
I got it figured out. Yes, I got big plans, and I think you're gonna love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm having fun as I do create. I sit with my team. I throw ideas out. I said, what if we can do this? And people like, well, we can do that. We can do that. I was talking to Joe. We going over stuff, and I'm like, yo, we can do something crazy. And when you put creators on something like this, it can go wild.
Magic happens.
So I don't want to give y'all too much. I'm just giving y'all a little narrative of the story.
I get it. You're dropping the hints.
Yeah, I'm dropping the little gems. Just look for us in the Discord. We'll be there, heavy, live, in effect.
Perfect. Right, I'm going to find. So, Drew, you came into this pretty early on, introduced by Clem, who's somewhere around here. There we go. Tell me your story in all of this.
So, I started investing into NFT platforms in 2018. And to be honest with you, I didn't like NFTs themselves. I had zero interest to invest into NFTs.
See, this is why he's got all the vision and you've got none of it. He saw it immediately.
Yes.
And so I wanted to be a picks and shovels investor in this space, not into the actual NFTs. But then when the Bored Ape Yacht Club launched and they said, we're giving away all the commercial rights to these apes, that was my trigger point. Like that's what completely changed my frame. And I said, oh, wait a minute, this is different. Nobody's ever done that before. This is like Stan Lee from the Marvel Universe coming to you after he's just created these characters and saying, hey, I've just created a whole slew of these characters. I think we're gonna make comic books, we might make some movies, you want to buy one? And I'd be like, yeah, I'll take Spider-Man and Wolverine and Captain America. Give me all that, right? And so when I understood that you were getting the commercial rights and you've got this network where you're going to own a single node in this network and every other node in the network, the nodes being the apes, is incentivized to be an ambassador, an amplifier, and a customer of however you utilize that ape. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire, right? It's like anything that you do is going to be amplified. There's 10,000 apes owned by 6,000 unique owners, and an additional, 11,000 owners of 20,000 mutants. So it's like you got this pretty big network that on minute one, when you launch something in this network, it's going to be amplified. It's going to blow up without having to really do much.
Because it's a community.
It's a community. It's a community, and everybody's incentivized. It's like the first win-win system that I've ever seen.
Talking about, help solve a lot of the problems in the music business, but I do believe that they're going to do it hand in hand with a lot of the institutions of the music business. I don't think that there'll ever be a day where you won't need I think like ticketing's more complicated than just tokens.
Yeah.
So I agree with you in concept of what the smart contracts in the blockchain will allow us to be able to understand, track. There's so much that it's going to bring. I do think it's going to be like a 20-year process of how everyone evolves to use the technology. And I think that like there's a band, Avenged Sevenfold. They're releasing a token. If they didn't already release it today or yesterday, it's coming out in now, and they're dropping a 10,000 piece collection of these tokens that their fans can buy, and they are absolutely designing the new fan club that everyone else is going to follow. So these tokens have utility from actual meet and greets, lifetime tickets. They each have special rarities to them, and the fans are participating more than I actually thought, because there is actual utility to the tokens that they're selling them, and they're writing the model right now in my mind for how I think artists and brands will have fan clubs, and I think we're just in phase one. I think that 10,000 is a big number to us today because of the amount of wallets that exist today that are holding NFTs. But I do believe that like in 10, 15 years, that's going to be a small number for what people will be, how many people will want to be a part of a club that has, you know, the rights they get when they hold that token.
And if you look at Gary Vee and the way that VeeFriends works, they provide some of that same type of utility where you get like sessions with Gary and things like that. And, you know, and that's an enormously popular, like, I mean, he does some incredible stuff in the space, and he's tapped into some of that same thing, providing special access and utility, and it's proven to work for sure.
And Tim, the other business you've got is for producers to be able to sell the rights to other people using parts of their songs, right?
Yes.
Oh, their beats or whatever it is, loops, whatever it may be.
Loops.
Surely, eventually, in this future, that's going to go on the blockchain too, right?
Yeah, everything's going to be on the blockchain. Everything. So I'm just trying to be the first, not the best, but at least the first to open up a door to show I'm really just trying to just make it just straight to you to fans to you. Yeah. Everything just easy, you can see everything. Everything is transferable. You see it, it's transparent. You see what's going on. And I think that's what a lot of artists want, because it's not, in the music business, there's no transparency. It's always this, it's that, it's that. And I believe the blockchain helps true transparency. And everything has to go through that. But like Joe said, I think that's some years away, but you got to start.
The other thing that this is all going towards, and you both talked about it, is the metaverse, right?
That's what I want.
Because this is another really interesting thing, because A, it's creative, it's free space, right? Do whatever you want. But also, think of touring. It's really expensive, it's a pain in the ass. Mm-hmm. And now you can tour to millions of people like a SaaS business model, huge margin business.
From your living room.
From your living room, you can have and we've already seen it.
Your underwear.
There's a whole bunch of people who've done some interesting stuff in this space. That's huge. It gives you this total freedom, right?
Veeps.com.
That's what I was about to
That's
say.
what we do, and we're building. So we have a live streaming platform for live music. We're building what we believe the future of live music, because we actually don't believe that live music can ever be replaced. We all like to go and engage, and we need that. An artist need it and fans need it. But what we found is there's more people actually can't go to concerts. And so by creating a network where they can participate in the live venues, so we're building out with Live Nation the network of live venues around the world, wiring venues, and the platform, you'll be able to, and you already can, but you'll be able to watch live shows around the world as they happen. And we are going to be building venues in the metaverse. So there is going to be an interconnectivity from the real world to the digital space where we're on our phones, our tablets, in our living rooms, to other places in the metaverse. To us, it's another place where people come together to do things.
Exactly right, and you can do it in huge numbers, and it's easy. As you said, it actually brings people closer to the band or the artist. They will go and see the live event. They will get more involved. They may buy the NFTs. It just creates this kind of virtuous circle, and you kind of own it. You own the spaces because
the artists are again, one of the things I'm very proud of Veeps was we built the commission-free model. The artists win the biggest. I was really excited at the concept of this new vertical that we're building, and it was built by artists for artists, and the standard now is there are no the artist is keeping all the revenue, and we're finding other ways to generate revenue. And another thing I think is important is they own their audience, so they have access to their ticket buyers. We're building out the plan for all the tickets to be NFTs, and Live Nation's building that right now. The future is your ticket to your concert is going to be a stub in your wallet, and then you keep it forever. As well as I think what the future in the metaverse is, we're not the only ones, and we don't want to be the only ones. There are going to be other venues. There's going to be other ways for people to put on their concerts and their shows. But the most important thing is the artists are actually going to grow their fan bases to people who otherwise could not interact with their live show. They would just, the only interactions they could have were on social media or watching playback. And so now people are getting to see artists live in the digital space more than they were before. And we're not the only ones doing it. I think it's the culture, it's where it's going.
Yeah.
How are you thinking about the metaverse? We're seeing Snoop's getting involved. There's a bunch of people they're starting to see it, right? They're starting to see that they can create a crazy world, whatever it is. How are you, because in your creative brain, how are you thinking of this?
First I'm still of course my imagination is all wild.
Yeah, you're a gamer, right? You know what this is.
But then I'm like, somebody just told me yo, my friend just bought a yacht, $650,000, right? So I'm like, okay. How's he gonna get on that yacht? So I be asking real questions, because when I go to my friend's Puff, they ask me I don't know nothing about this metaverse, and I'm like, I don't. How do they get to Ciroc in the metaverse? I said, I don't know. So when his friend brought his boat, and I was like, so I asked him, I was like, so how do you tell somebody you paid $600,000 but you can't get on it? You know what I'm saying?
Try telling your wife that. That's the hard one.
So it's so that's the first thing I think is to hurt. To me, it's this. You have to just understand. I just look at it it's the new currency. It's the new world. It's where everything is going to be on the web, whether it's internet, whether it's everything is going to be right there at your fingertips. So, and if you can make a better experience at your fingertips, I'm down for that. I'm down. I just don't understand these outrageous prices, but I'm down for it. You know what I'm saying? Land and I'm like, okay, well, I can't walk on this land. But then I started getting to my gamified. I'm like, that's my land. I own it, and I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool, but everybody ain't gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Yo, you getting excited for something on your TV? Yep, because you're gonna get excited too. Maybe not today, but tomorrow or maybe a couple years from now, you'll be like, man, I'm on there talking with this avatar Alice, making up some shit, and we in the club. I'm like, I thought you thought it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be those conversations.
So where are we in the crazy people looking at you thinking
I'm way. They think, but now people are asking me now. At first it was that's just Timbaland. He always doing something just ahead. This we don't understand. You know what I'm saying? But now people asking me, how do I put a wing stop in the metaverse? How do I do this? How I put a domino? I'm like, hey man, I'm not. The excitement, I pump the brakes on everything and organize it, because it gotta be, everything going forward gotta be top notch. I can't move because, this person's doing something, because what I'm delivering is Marvel type. With animation, everything has to fall in line perfectly. And now that you see there's a big appetite for something, of course, being a visionary and a creative, that's what me and Joe, that's what we do. You got to sit down and harness on, okay, this could be something. We got to organize this right to make sure the vision stay worthy to people always
Because everyone's
investing.
going to be looking at this, right?
You're right. Oh, I'm not going to half step. You better believe.
So, Joel, how did you get involved in all of this?
So I started in crypto in 2017 and then got into NFTs as a natural evolution of being like what I think is just like straight coming from a different side, growing up in music, growing up on punk music, and always kind of like being DeFi, decentralized, thinking that way, and then crypto and the world that it brought. I feel like I'm just straightforward degen.
You're just a rebel and this was natural.
I'm not here for an investment. I like that the fact that this big room is here to talk about how this art is becoming, this world that's being built by artists is a good investment. I think it's really interesting. This is all triggered by art and people that are breaking rules, and I think it's kind of funny, but I also think it's the world as old as time. We all stand around and look at this art and decide if it's valuable or not. And that's the interesting question, is like, what makes it valuable? We've all just agreed, and the market tells us it's valuable. I think I always find that to be the most inspiring and ironic thing. And to me, art wins every time. And so if we make things that compel people, and then we have groups of people that believe early. So I was early in and just buying NFTs, buying apes. When someone else gets an ape, you're like, oh, dude, it's like a little club you're in. And then it becomes valuable to everyone else. And so I think it's interesting because I'm here for that, because it's changing people's lives. Every time an artist can live and a new artist is born and a new artist can make art and it's felt and seen by the world, it makes the world a better place. And it was a little loud. And when there's a problem in the world, the first people to show up are artists to help raise money and say what needs to be said. And, I think culturally, culture is the new investment. I think maybe this culture, I think culture has always been the best thing you can invest in.
Culture is consensus.
Yeah, so I'm here for the talk. I'm here to absolutely agree with everyone that this is a worthwhile investment. I think the most important thing that is what art and culture bring to the world, and recognizing it as valuable. I'm always, and by the way, I've 20 some years in the music business. I've been the benefactor of culture and of art, and I always will always reinvest in culture and art. And to me, NFTs are art. It's artists getting the opportunity to express themselves and build a new world, Web3, and the world that will all the things that are going to be here tomorrow that we're building today. And so, me and Tim are both building companies in the music business. He's building Beatclub. I'm building Veeps. We're the #1 platform for live streaming for live music. He's the #1 platform for producers. And over the last few years, we've really gotten to know each other through our businesses. And then when I found out he was into apes, and I'm friends with Clem, and we have a bunch of mutual friends, I was immediately drawn to one of my apes I'm doing some stuff with, and we were kind of making plans, and we've been making music and creating art around that ape for the last 6 months or so. And then when I found out Tim was into the apes, I got excited, and we all connected on the music. And I think we continue to, I think we're artists first and we're dreamers first, and it's just dreaming up how much fun can we have with this? What can we create? And that's the freedom I think you get in this space. In the metaverse is just total freedom. There's no rules, and it's exciting for us.
It must be fun for you, right? For you and Tim to get together creatively with this open canvas of the metaverse and say, okay, what do we want to do here? I mean, that's the ultimate rewarding creative pursuit, because you've got everything as your possibility.
Yeah, typically you're always constricted by in the music business, there's so many rules around the rights, and it confines you to what you can and can't do based on different sections of your business and pieces of your business, and you respect it. It's something you can't really fuck with. But with this, there's no rules. So we could do music, we could not do music. We could do content, we could make product, we could, and by kind of imagining who these characters are because we have an affection for them. I mean, I bought my apes because of the aesthetics. I just like that one and that one and that one. And every time you find one that you became obsessed with. So they start to kind of take on a personality in your mind, and then it's just total freedom. You can kind of do with, and respect to Bored Ape Yacht Club for actually outlining that at the very beginning and saying that I think they were actually thinking of the art of it. I actually think they were thinking of the playground that they were building for people to come and be a part of. And I think that's why it's so successful. And I think that I always look for those projects that have that spirit, that real true freedom. It's a little rebellious. It's totally. Putting the art first, putting the community first, and kind of putting all the commerce of everything second or last to the experience they wanted to try and create for people to have when they come and they're part of this world. And I think they set the standard for the way like projects behave now.
There's some other magic here is music has a massive fanatic community. And what it does is allows you as a creative, as an artist, to come closer to your community and work with them. Because once you unleash this thing, they will take control of it as well. Yeah. And it creates its own life. I mean, that's something you've not really been able to do before, that this whole kind of Web3 world unlocks, right?
That connective tissue between the creator and the audience or the community and the fans is really, I think, where Web3 and music thrive, right? It's this new ability for your audience to engage with the creator in a different way
and also
participate.
I think it's really important for musicians and other artists not to give so much away to the middlemen, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course, not to.
And you know, if you look at it, and I've done a lot of work on this, is about 80% of the economics goes elsewhere. NFTs solves ticketing. Right? That's the end of StubHub, Scalpers, Ticketmaster.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yep.
IP rights. You know, you came on the flight over with Jack. Jack knows this shit. IP rights are going to get disrupted. So when you create new music that's free of existing IP rights, you can own it and share it with your community. So imagine, for both of you guys, imagine that you release new music and you allow the fans to invest in that token. They will go and promote it for you. There goes your marketing budget. You know, because your fans just do it because the token goes up. It creates this incredible world.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, mostly. It's a lot more nuanced than that, and there's a lot more to it than this. The idea is simple. It's more complicated than that. I think that the token, owning the token and being a member of the club is probably, like, right now, all we can handle.
That's right.
I think that it'll develop with the rights because there's a lot more to the rights than just the rights. Yeah. So when you're...
I'm still learning, but I love it. I love, because it's like I watch my kids play Minecraft. They building all this shit. I'm like, oh shit, you can do this shit and it costs real money. Oh, I'm down. I like this. Because I always like stuff like that. But everybody gonna like, I don't get it, you know? And I'm trying to make people understand, but there are some people that understand, like, this is the new currency. This is the new way of life. How do I get in now before it gets crowded?
Yeah.
That's really like, how do I buy land? I know Snoop called me about when his land, he said, yo, he said, I had somebody to buy some property right beside me, by my house, in the metaverse. I'm like, for real? And I'm having conversations, but you at home now. So what verse are you? You know, we just be talking and like his games, and we be like looking at ourselves like, do you hear us?
But you're feeling like kids again now,
aren't you? But I'm in the house. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big ass game, but it's a real game.
But what's funny is like everybody we've spoken to has had the same grin on their faces, right? This is fun.
So fun.
We're all having fun again.
Yeah, that's
So
what it is. That's the best way I tell. I said, look,
You
man,
got that kind of 13-year-old
just
grin
have
on your
fun.
face.
Just have fun, man. I can't look, man. It ain't gonna make sense to you. Just come on aboard. But what you will do, you will be bragging, because we know humans, we love to brag about what we got. So we're gonna be like, I just got this 2 million. Look at my crib on the mill. So now we be on our phone showing, because I'm already on my phone showing, like, you look at my NFT, look at this one, look what I just brought. My friend just showed me a Kobe Bryant one that was amazing. I'm like, oh my God, you better hold on to that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm looking like, wow, we showing our arts on our phone. You know what I'm saying? So everything is gonna be, we already own our phones 24/7.
Yeah.
At a concert, we're not looking at a concert. And me, I'm with Joe. Like, I want to watch it at home. Like, I watched the Drake and Kanye. They say, "Are you going?" No, it's on Amazon Prime. Are you crazy? Like, I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm on this. So he got the best streaming platform. Who performing tonight? Click. That's it. So everything is going to be of a button, and it's, you know, everything can't be free. So that's why we have, it's going to be chargeable. So it's just like land that you go buy down the street. It's going to be in the digital world. It's the same thing. They're like, well, it's going to cost that much? I say, yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty high. You better get in now while the value is low. You know what I'm saying? There's little, you can make your way. But to me, it's the best way you just said it. If you're not ready to have fun, leave it alone. If you don't want to put a smile on your face, you don't want to bring the little kid out you don't want to just be adapted and change your mindset, and just keep being the old school you. You know, I just think this is for I've seen a lot of people smile more.
Yeah.
You know, we talking more creative. All our stuff that we say, people ain't looking at us crazy because it's now coming to life. It can come to life. Before I could bring up ideas, people like, okay, next. Now it's like they're looking at me like, for real? And so it's like,
Now you're like the wise master. Everyone's coming to you.
I told somebody, it's almost like, if I had to compare it to a movie, it's like Revenge of the Nerds.
Yep. All day.
I gotta compare it to a movie. Remember, like, the jocks was popping, but the nerds had the best party. You know, the girl took, that's what's going on right now. It's all about the nerds, baby. And I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're clearly a nerd as well, right?
What's that?
I said you're clearly a nerd as well, right?
I was born a nerd, came up as a nerd.
Yeah.
I tried very hard not to look like a nerd, but I still am a nerd. I can't help it.
It's what it is.
When you talk to other people in the music industry and your friends, do they think you're nuts, or are they starting to get it?
I mean, I'm always just only focused on what I'm interested in and what I think is fun. And I really do believe that, I really believe that life is about being happy and finding things that you find interesting and novelty. And I'm always just looking for that. And so I tend to be only talking to people that are into the same stuff I am. And I just kind of keep moving through and finding the next conversation with someone that I think, with people that are interested in the same thing. So I can understand, the joke is like, come on in here and show everyone your JPEG collection. I get it. Okay.
I see it with confidence.
Here, let me get my phone.
I said, you got a credit card, don't you?
Let me get my
Did you thought that
ledger,
was
guys. But it's the future, and we're going to find application. And I think we leave it to everyone here plays a role, and everyone's looking for. I think we've all agreed that there's something here, and the money doesn't lie, and The people don't lie. Like the amount of people that continue to come in every day and the lives that are changed in all different ways, it's creating all kinds of great things. It's creating all kinds of new opportunity for everyone. And we're all just trying to make sense of it and find our role in it. And I think there's the people that'll find the application. And I think the artist's job is to create and make things that, like Tim said, give people joy and give people an escape, and then everyone will play their role, and people will find, we'll continue to build this thing together, and I think we'll find real world application through all of the exercises that we do with art, and that's the exciting part. Is also the possibilities of how this will change the world in a lot of great ways.
And also, even if none of that happens, it's the creative opportunity of a whole new blank canvas. That's what you're excited about. You can see that on your face. Is you're like thinking of this, thinking, what can I do with this? And it's not about the money. It's not about, okay, if you create something amazing and it becomes valuable, great. But you're going to have a lot of fun, creative fun, doing something new.
Yes. It's like if I went to you and said, hey, I'm building a skyscraper down the street. Come check it out. You'd be like, what are you talking about, a skyscraper down the street? Okay. But if I told you I was building a skyscraper in the metaverse, you would actually say, oh, I'm interested in that, because you get it. Some people might not. But the fact that the idea that you could concept something at scale that's huge and do it in a place that didn't exist a year ago, and it could be actually, there's the potential that it could be as valuable in the metaverse as it is in the real world, that's actually a possibility, is all that says to me is possibility.
I tell you, we went through this at Real Vision. I'd seen this and I thought I want to do something about it. So I got a stealth group of people and said, let's build a headquarters in the metaverse. So we commissioned a metaverse architect. That's a weird thing, right?
Yep.
So we commissioned an architect firm based in Portugal. We commissioned them. They say, what kind of design? And everyone's doing spacey designs. We said, look, we want a Victorian warehouse, like it's kind of grunge London music scene thing. So we built this warehouse, and then Sergio's here today, furnishes an NFT gallery in it. And here we are in crypto voxels. We've commissioned an architect's firm, paid in ETH, which is now money, clearly, in all of this internet. And we've got music, video going on, and NFTs. It's amazing. Just comes out of nowhere. You can do all this stuff.
That happened.
It's a leap of faith to go from a traditional system, a traditional framework, to this completely digital, totally intangible. Everything is just in your mind. Everything that we're talking about, it's just in our head, right? It's just a perception. And so it's a leap of faith to go from here to there. But, it's very real. Reality is perception. And if people, I think it's clear, like, we're all having a lot of fun doing this stuff, right? And it's, as you said, a blank canvas. There are no rules. And if that is the culture and that's where it's going, that's where the money will go. The art always leads. So, I've got this huge advantage because the vast majority of my net wealth has been in digital